Well, first of all, I thought it was like really innovative or creative, like the way you presented the whole program. And I think probably I've been trying to learn Swedish for the last 4 years, which is the amount of time I've been living in Sweden. And I've always been on and off, and with different things work at different times. Um, but I think that because this was so specific, and I've never seen anything like this offered before, because you sort of see the verbs, and for me especially, because I learned, like, I'm a native Spanish speaker, and I learned, I went to a bilingual school, so I I learned both languages without a lot of like intensive grammar. So I just know like how the words are used, or like I can tell that you use this verb this way just because it sounds right for both languages. So for me with Swedish especially, it was really hard because I at the same time I'm learning a language, I'm sort of also learning like grammar rules, and this was just like so specific to like, okay, this is really structured, and it's also there was pressure and like time limits, and it was, I think that the structure as well helped me a lot, because it was okay, I have to do this or this, and I have this amount of time to do it, and I want to do it right. So I think it was a combination of two things, and I said this is the only way I'm ever going to learn, and not like, I think it was one of your descriptions that then you would never have to think twice about the verbs that we learned. And yeah, that's actually true. Or sometimes I'm like, oh, I see it or I read it, and then I sort of immediately remind myself or go through like the verbs or the meanings or the uses that we've used. And so it's been really, really helpful for everyday life, and for in general, like the incremental knowledge for me was really good. And yeah, so I thought it was like, yeah, it was a now or never moment for me, I think, when you sent the course. The verb använda, I struggled with that verb. Like, you can ask Daniel, that was a verb I asked him like every single class, like every time we had an exercise. It just didn't click in my mind, in my brain. It was like, I know we've seen it like every time, but I could not remember it for anything. And then after the course, like, yes, finally, I see it, and I don't have to like doubt myself, like, what was this again? So I think that was like a really clear example of now that I don't even have to like, again, like translate it in my brain either, or some uh yeah, some like ok, that also I think was like a verb that you're like, go off, like sometimes it's like, oh, like, which is it? And now I don't have to think about it, like, so I sort of instantly or like automatically know which one to use, or which one or what people are referring to. And before I was had to like do an extra sort of, oh, what was it again, and then remember what it was. So I think that those, yeah, I think that the structure and the pressure, the intensity of it, that just makes you, and the fact that like at the beginning, like of each week, sort of every Monday or whenever we started, was okay, I have this list of verbs, and it's sort of like some of them you know more than other, or at least knew more than others. And then just by the sheer fact of that you were repeating it over and over again, it just, yeah, it worked really well. So that was also something that was really good as well, that you had to go over it over and over and over again, and then somehow your mind just, okay, yes, now I know this. I don't know, it sort of happened like in the middle of the week, or by Friday it was like, oh yeah, regardless of the fact that we were repeating the same sentences all over again, but just like the verb itself, most of them I don't even have to like translate them anymore in my brain either, so I sort of like just see them and know what they may mean.
Yeah.
So I think that's, yeah, that also, it was like very positive, and I could see it like every week, like the progress. You could see it like at the start of the week, it was like, oh, maybe you got like several wrong, and then by the end of the week it was just like, oh yeah, it's this. So